Well, we've got Angie Rumaldo here with us now. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great today. Now, first of all, your latest book that you've got out at the moment is called Techology, a digitally new way to raise happy kids. So, how does this book help parents exactly?
Well, Techology, I it's really a book for parents to learn how to better connect and communicate with their children or their teen
Yeah.
while still protecting them in this very techy digital world.
Yeah. And a lot of the time, people might say that technology can be harmful for children. Do you agree with that?
I think it is.
Mm.
When I was developing this book, I was trying to be very neutral.
Yeah.
And in doing that, I was trying to get a very fair pros and cons list because there is a lot of pros to technology.
Mm.
However, there are some things to be aware of. And our world is moving to a very digital, no, it's not moving. It is in a very digital space and
Yeah.
area. And it's a new culture. It's very different. And part of technology is to help us look at things in a more culturally appropriate way. But the book does address many of the concerns that have been voiced by parents through my own experiences through my clinical work in regards to the rapid increase of technology.
Yeah, absolutely. And where did you get all the information to be able to write this book?
A lot of the information was through my own clinical work with my clients, personal experience, but a good 90% of the book was through research.
Mm.
So I went through a lot of clinical journals, peer-based reviews journals. A lot of it is scientific based. In fact, every single chapter has a very thorough, comprehensive research backed on why this is good and why
Yeah.
this is not so good.
Yeah, absolutely. So, going right back to the start of your writing life, when did you first realize that you wanted to be a writer?
I think it was when I was about maybe 12 years old. At that time, I was writing a lot,
Yeah.
and I was writing especially about comedies with clumsy
Mm.
heroines. I loved reading. So I would read, I would get inspired, and I would write. But I really started seriously considering writing about a few years ago, right before I wrote my first published book.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose it's quite an achievement to be able to write a book, isn't it? So the first time you wrote it, was it pretty scary?
It was scary. It was, yeah, absolutely. It was
Mm.
intimidating.
Yeah.
And I think I just wanted to write just to get a lot of my thoughts out and a lot of, again, like I've been working in the mental health field for about 20 years now.
Wow.
So I just felt that there was so much to write about. And I just started thinking if there was just this very simple guide of mental health concerns and just put that out. So I just started doing that, and then eventually the book came and manifested.
Yeah. And how many books have you ended up writing over the years
I've
then?
so far I have done these two. My
Yeah.
Understanding Your Child and Teen Behavior book
Yeah.
that came out in 2017, and then this technology book, which actually I had written maybe 2 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago. But after revi revi revising it and going through research again, it just constantly was getting updated.
Yeah.
Um, but I have also a bunch of other works of that I've written, like manuals that I haven't fully completed yet.
Yeah. And I know it's often hard to pick, but do you have a favourite of those two, or do you not like to have favourites?
I know. Yeah, I do not like having favorites, but I do have a favorite in this
Ah,
case. And it's my recent book, my technology book, because
yeah.
I really struggle with it as having teenage children, our
Mm.
kids. And their cell phone is an extension of their hand. So it was challenging to be loving, understanding, and having to teach them limits about holding or having their cell phone, their computer, their video games.
Yeah.
And I really thought that, oh my God, this is so hard for me. Imagine how hard it is for everyone else.
Yeah. And what have been some of the most surprising things that you've learned in the process of making your books?
I think for me, it was just that, I mean, it was definitely intimidating, but it's
Yeah.
also very rewarding, and there's always so much to write.
Mm.
And so it's about kind of figuring out what needs to be in the book, what does not need to, like the filtering part was
Yeah.
difficult. You would think that, oh my God, it's so overwhelming. What do I need to write about? What can I write about? Will I have something to write about? But then it turns out that there is so much to write about.
Yeah.
How can I limit this?
Yeah, for sure. So, what would you say are the most important tips that you would want parents to know about when it comes to technology then?
I think in general, not only specific to technology, but in general, for parents, the most important tips that I could say would be being patient,
Yeah.
consistent, and loving. In anything that you apply, any rules, any expectations, if you learn to be patient, consistent, and loving, that is the road to being an effective parent. Patience with yourself, your expectations,
Mm.
patience and love towards your child's behavior and their own independent self, but also being so consistent and clear with your own understanding of how things need to be. Model those expectations and consistently address any deviations to the expectations of the household or rules or regulations or whatever. So patience, consistency, and love. As long as you have that, things will be so much better.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're not writing books, do you have fun stuff that you get up to in your spare time?
I love the beach.
Oh, yeah.
So if whenever I can, that's where I would like to be. I would like to
Mm.
be in the sand, digging my toes into the sand, hearing the waters, the waves, the
Yeah.
sun. I just love all of that. So spending time with my family at the beach is absolutely my favorite thing to do. Reading. I am
Yeah.
an incessant reader. I read all the time, several books a week, actually. I love writing notes. I'm a bookworm, so I've always been one. So doing those things really are my favorite things to do.
Yeah. And do you live near a beach or have you had to travel even during the pandemic?
I know. So during the pandemic, I was in New York, and I
Yeah.
am not, well, I am, I guess, 30 minutes to the beach, but it's
Hmm.
it's seasonal.
Yeah.
And when I can, I'm in Florida where I could go to the beach as much as I can.
Yeah. I'm kind of lucky. I've been to the beach a couple times this year and I don't really live near one, but I've decided I need to go and get some sun and sand because it's always nice.
I know it is. It is. And sun helps. It puts everyone in a better mood.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. Well, do you have any more books that you're thinking of writing sometime soon?
There are some that are on the horizon.
Ooh.
I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to focus next.
Yeah.
I want to write something fun, but I'm still unclear what will exactly what I will be doing next.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, where are we able to check out Techology and also all your other work?
Psychology and understanding your child and teen behavior are available via Amazon.
Yeah.
They're also available via Barnes and Noble and all the major bookstores. You should be able to find them online.
Great. Well, thank you very much for joining us here on the show today. It's been great having you on.
Oh, no, thank you so much. It was a pleasure.